Everybody needs to bring their coffee, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I can see people starting to come on my screen. All right, here we go then. All right,
All right.
everybody, welcome back from lunch. Please join me in welcoming Shane Pulver, a proud U.S. Air Force veteran and accomplished business leader. For more than 20 years, Shane has served as a co-founder and chief operating officer of Abacus Solutions Group, a firm delivering mission-critical IT, cybersecurity, and engineering services to clients across the country. Shane's leadership reflects both military precision and entrepreneurial vision. He holds multiple certifications, including creating a top talent program from LinkedIn, and brings deep expertise in program management, project execution, and developing high potential teams. His passion for innovation and people development continues to drive Abacus Solutions Group's success and impact. So for all my IT and cyber men and women out there, make sure you bring the heat with some questions for Shane. So Shane, thanks again for coming back on, and I turn the floor over to you, my friend.
You bet. Welcome everybody. I truly enjoy doing this. As stated, I am an Air Force veteran and co-founded Abacus Solutions Group in 2005, so just a little bit over 20 years ago. We are a technology services firm in the federal space. We're top secret facility cleared and do all levels of information technology work. So I'd love to hear questions, to provide feedback. I know some of you guys are looking to just break into the workspace. Some of you guys are looking to become entrepreneurs and open a business. Most of the folks that we hire are veterans exiting the military, just because that's where a lot of the top secret clearances lie. So, I mean, I am very familiar with being in your chair 20 plus years ago and helping you guys get to this chair. So we just love to, if there's more I can talk about initially, Brian, or if they just want to start firing questions, you tell me.
Well, all right, go ahead, Timothy.
Hey, how's it going? Just wanted
Great.
to see where all the opportunities are, like geographically. Are you all over the US, international? I walked in a second late from picking up the kids, so I might have
No,
missed that part of the intro.
no problem. No, we do some fully remote work, but a lot of our work is base specific. So every defense contractor has different contracts that are typically on military installations. We do a lot of work in Colorado. We do a lot of work in New Mexico, Hawaii, Arizona, and then a large presence at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Glencoe, Georgia. And those just and then of course we do quite a bit of fully remote work on like tier one and tier two help desk. Those are a lot of the roles that can be fully remote, but yeah, our primary areas are on certain bases, and you will find that with every defense contractor. So if you want to stay in a particular location, I might not be the answer, but there's most likely, if there's a military base there, there's a defense contractor you could work with.
Yeah, I'm out of McDill, so in Tampa,
Okay.
CENTCOM, SOCOM, SOC, CENTMART, like that. There's lots of different things, and we're
There are.
trying to kind of stay in that area for at least the time being. So wasn't sure if there's anything there.
No, we've had stuff there before. It's a very cyclical business, as you know. So contract work doesn't really move. Work grows and becomes different, but contracting companies change every, 5 to 7 to 10 years, just depending on the cycle of the business.
Sweet,
Nice.
sounds good.
Hey,
I appreciate it.
Yep.
hey, Shane, you mind if I put your LinkedIn info in the chat?
Not at all. No, please. I'm more than willing to have anyone reach out. Chris, go ahead.
Hey Shane, thanks for coming on the call.
You bet, Chris.
So, what made you find stand up Abacus? I'm actually familiar with your company, so I'm kind of surprised to see you on here. But what made it important to start it up?
I mean, it was 20 years ago. I'm 56 years old, so I was 36, had been in the military and then worked in commercial environments for a while. And I just probably a little bit of naivety, but just felt like we could do things different and make a difference. I think that one of the things we saw in this space was a lot of retired senior officers run companies like mine, and those guys haven't often done real work in a long time. So
Mhm.
just approaching it from a commercial perspective, from we care about our people. We understand that that is really the mission doesn't get done without the guys on the ground, without the boots. And so just knowing that and being able to approach that from not from a general or colonel's perspective, but from a staff sergeant's perspective of let's get the real work done and meet the mission and take care of our people. And we thought we could do that. And that again, that was 20 years ago. It was a lot of naivete and testosterone, but it worked.
All right, thanks.
And I will say this too. There is a large company called Abacus Technology, and there is my company called Abacus Solutions Group. We are not Abacus Technology. So sometimes people do. We didn't do a lot of pre-planning when we named it 20 years ago. There was already a big company in our space that was around then.
Hey, Shane, when you were first getting out, or when you first decided to get out of the Air Force, did you have um, the business in mind? Like, how did that come about?
No, I think that, when I first got out, and what I see with a lot of guys getting out is the defense contract space is a natural progression to the civilian world because they still get to work on a military base, but they're no longer in uniform, right? So I think that a lot of guys that do, you know, 5, 10, 15 years, I mean, look, the military world and the commercial world are totally different. They are not the same at all. And it's a tough transition for a lot of people. So stepping into a commercial company like mine at a defense contractor is often sort of you get to use your clearance, you get to use your expertise, you get to make the most money stepping out of the military if you can use the skill sets you've learned in the military. So, I mean, when I first got out, I just went to work, and then I just think I saw it long enough that we thought we could do it different. And that was really the decision, but it wasn't right away. I was in the Air Force from 87 to 91, and we started Abacus in '05. So I worked for, 15 plus years in the commercial sector. So I really did have a real understanding of what it took to be successful in the commercial space, but also a military background, a military bearing.
Thanks. How was it? How was it creating the business? Because we're going to do, and I'll talk to you more about this later, but
Yep.
we're going to do a Seven Eagle Shark Tank
Okay.
where people who want to, transitioning service members on the line now, or vets who want to try and start a business can
Yep.
like pitch some ideas and go from there. So how was it for you to like from ground zero to start a business?
I think what I would look for if I was on that board of Shark Tank, or what I thought about what maybe helped us be successful was a lot of guys, when guys and gals, when they go to start a business, they think they're going to become self-employed.
Mm,
And that's a huge mistake, right? When you start a business, your name might be on the ownership paperwork, but that business owns you. Like I didn't own my business till I was probably 15 years in, which means that when you do that, um, if you work for a company and you have a bad month, you still get paid. If you work for yourself and have a bad month, you don't get paid. So
mm,
you've got to have the mindset of it is all up to you. It is all about you. And there's sacrifice involved with that, right? I think you bet on the horse. And if the person has the right dedication and humility and understanding that it is not easy. It's really hard. And it's going to take a lot of work. We had a third business partner when we started, and my current business partner and I, we've been together 20 years. We wanted to build a business. He wanted to become self-employed. It's just not the same thing. And you guys have to understand that. that if you're building a business, it's going to be bigger than you. It has to be bigger than you. And if you think you're the most important part of that, you're probably not going to succeed.
That's interesting. Did you do cyber when you were in the Air Force? IT
No,
in the
I
Air Force?
didn't. I did in-shop avionics on the F-15. I did not have a huge technology background, but I think that when you start in this sector, you have to. So starting a company in the defense contracting space is also difficult because of the whole past performance thing. You know this, Brian. Others might not know this, but to win work in the government contract space, you have to have past performance, but you can't get past performance unless you win work. So, we started out as a subcontractor. That's kind of how most people have to start out. They have to know somebody or find somebody that has a business similar to theirs that'll give them a shot on one of their programs for one or two FTEs or a little bit of the work, 5-10% of the work, and you build from there. So one of the guys that my business partner had a real strong IT background, so that gave us the legs to get started. And then I learned this business, which means I learned some IT. I am not a cyber guy, but I am a defense contracting business guy. And I think that if you're a cyber guy that wants to start a cyber company, once you get more than two people, you're not going to be doing a whole lot of cyber work anymore. So I think that's really a decision you have to make. If you want to be a full-time cyber guy, maybe starting a defense contracting business right away is not the best way to do that. Go be a cyber guy for a defense contractor. When you're tired of doing the cyber work, then you can move into the operations and the administration and all the things that are involved with being a vendor to the federal government.
Are you part of the or have you been part of the hiring process for your company?
Actively involved. I'm not as active today, but I mean, I was part of the interviewing and recruiting and sourcing, and I think that one of the things I would tell your folks if on this call, if they want to get into the IT space, is the government requires IT certifications from every level of position that you want to have. So from the very basic, it's an A plus, then a security plus, then different certifications based on if you want to go network or operations or cyber. But it was called DoD 8570. It recently changed, but if you look up DoD 8570, no matter how much experience you have, if you don't have a baseline certification, you can't touch a computer in the government space. So you could be as qualified as possible without that certification. You're not going to get the job. So I would, if you were trying to break into the IT sector, trying to break into the cyber sector, and you've got the clearance already, you need to get the certifications.
So what are some of the so the clearance obviously is the tip of the spear that you're looking
Yep.
for. What are some of have you noticed with some of the IT cyber types that you've been bringing on, or at least interviewing? Like, what are some of the certifications that stood out? What are some that people should try to get maybe before they get out? Hopefully they already have them. Or
Yeah, I think that, again, the space is so nuanced, Brian, right? Every contract and every base is going to require a different certification for their particular contract. But like certified ethical hacker is one of those that are in that cybersecurity space. Again, the basic ones are like A plus, Network plus, Security plus, CCNA Security. In the cybersecurity space, it's like CYSA plus, CHFI, SSCP. Again, these are all things that you could literally go to that 8570. You could look up those designations, and there's entry level, there's mid level, and then there's senior level certs that are going to be required. And it's sort of it's a pass, no pass, right? And even with security clearances, Like we process people for secret clearances every day of the week. It only takes a month to get an interim secret clearance. So if you can get a clearance and you can get a baseline cert, you can get a entry level IT job in this space. But those are the two like go no goes just to even enter the IT sector in our world.
How big is education? Like bachelor's, master's, certifications outweigh college degree type things?
Certs typically outweigh the degree, Brian. A lot of the opportunities will say either a 4-year degree or an additional 3 years of experience, right? So there's a lot of times there's the workaround for the degree if you have the years of experience. But
Hmm.
what there's not a workaround for ever is the certifications or the clearance. Those are the hard passes. But the degree helps, right? If you have the degree, you need less years of experience to get started. But if you don't have the degree, that's not a deterrent as long as you have years of experience. And again, it
Mhm.
depends on every level of job.
Yeah, nowadays, depending on who you talk to, especially in the military now, it's, your degree either is you got to get your master's or you don't. It's not important. It's important. But
Yeah. Yeah.
anybody out there have any questions so far? Comments? Would you be open to? Uh, Hopefully, someone will volunteer, but open to
Yeah.
hearing an elevator pitch or two.
Yeah, you bet. You
If
bet.
we can arrange with somebody, one of the
Yeah.
IT types.
Yeah.
Anybody want to volunteer to give an elevator speech?
Come on, somebody. Ask me any question. I'm here and open and
You
ready to
must have had a
chat.
big lunch.
It's always the guy right after lunch that takes
Yeah,
the
yeah,
heat. That's
yeah.
okay.
I'm hoping the cyber IT guys will help me out here. I'm a security guy, like physical security. I'm hoping someone will come help me out with some questions. Hint, hint. Anybody? There we go, John. Appreciate you. What do you got?
Yeah, here for you, Brian. Here for you. Hey, thank you for coming out with us today, sir. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Um, I just have a quick question for you. So, from my understanding of this, for the DoD certifications, if we already have, let's say, Sec Plus or some of the other ones that you had mentioned, what's the
Yep.
process to get that for the DoD to recognize that?
It's typically when we have to provide a copy of that certification to the government. And on like Security Plus, it's got to be the CE version, the continuing education version. There was a while there that CompTIA was doing a Security Plus that lasted forever. But that one no longer flies for the government contract space. So we typically when we're presenting a candidate for an opportunity, we present their resume, we present their clearance information from our security officer, and then we present the certifications, a copy of the certifications they have. Typically, it's got a number on it that anybody can look up online, but that's really what it is, John. It's literally it's contractual, right? The thing about defense contracting is it's still the military. You're doing a 40-hour a week job. You're not still enlisted or officer, but it's the same thing you would expect. Our guys work on military bases next to military men and women and government service employees. We're right there on the same machines with everybody else.
Awesome. Thank you for answering that. And one more question for you.
You bet.
Do you have do you know of any opportunities in Battle Creek, Michigan? I was looking on USA Jobs earlier, but I just wanted to know if your company had any in that space.
No, I would look up like I would go to Indeed. I did use Indeed very often. Like that's a good resource. Indeed.com is a good resource for opportunities. I'm not really familiar with Battle Creek, John. I guess are there military bases in that area?
Yeah, there's from my understanding, there's a reserve center in Battle
Okay.
Creek. I believe a NOSC.
Could the tough part of I mean, the military is is slow to change, right? So they don't have a lot of fully remote work. It's just not the nature of this space. So yeah, I do see that there is an Air National Guard base. I don't know kind of what sort of work they have there, but you once in a while we get guys that do find fully remote cleared opportunities. Especially at the lower level, we'll get a guy they'll get a CAC card and they'll get GFE and they'll log in fully remote with their CAC and work 100% from home. So if that's something you're open to, John, I'd look for opportunities like that as well.
All right, awesome. Thank you, sir.
You bet.
Do you guys do remote work, Shane?
We do a little bit. Yep. We have a contract with the FAA. It's tier 0 and tier 1 help desk, so it's really entry level. And then the Army Enterprise Service Management platform, we have some entry level, some fully remote work, but it's tier 1 help desk, so it's very much we're taking people with hardly any IT experience. We get them a clearance and an A plus, and then they step into that space. Now, there's a lot of upward mobility from there, but it doesn't pay a lot to start.
For those who don't know, can you tell them, I know you basically said a contractor, get the CAC card 40 hours a week, do your job, go home, that type of thing. Can you tell the people who don't know, like, how a contractor or a contract works?
Yeah, so, and that's a great question, Brian, because I think a lot of people that are on that side worry about, hey, I see there's only 2 years left on this contract. I don't know if I want to take this job. It's not a full-time job. But the reality is government contract jobs are full-time, fully benefited, medical, dental, 401k, the whole 9 yards. And what happens is every 5 to 10 years, the government recompetes their contracts. But unless it's work that's going away, every time we win a new contract or we lose a contract, if we win a contract, we end up hiring 95% of the people that were already on that program working for the last contractor. So literally they do a badge flip. And if we lose a contract, our employees transition to the new contractor. Here's what I tell guys. Every once in a while, if somebody's not doing a good job, Brian, the government will say, I don't want you to hire that guy. But if you're doing a great job, we have a contract at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, and our lead sysadmin, he's been there 18 years, and we're his third government contractor. So he will work. He is awesome at what he does. He will be there as long as he wants to be. If we don't win it this next time, we will lovingly say, God bless you, and you'll move on to the next contractor. So it's typically a pay raise and a different name on your paycheck, but it's the same. You're in the same operation. So you can do a government contract job as long as you want to. You just might change employers every 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you were looking for, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There's
Timothy.
a lot of stability in it. People just don't understand that because they're worried about the contractor changing.
Yeah.
I lose my job. The guys don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my question is kind of in relation to that. Like I've been looking on clearance jobs
Yep.
for some stuff, and like you can see when contracts are up for bid because there's all these duplicate job postings.
Yeah.
I'll say contingent upon contract award type of thing.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on applying to jobs that are contingent upon? I've heard like mixed reviews, like benefits of, hey, they've got your resume, even if they don't, win that contract, they might say, hey, you're a good fit for something else that we already have, or that they're just trying to contract or resume harvest to prove that they've got the people. So what are your thoughts on that?
No, you know what? There's really two sides of it, Timothy. Government contractors like myself are required when we apply when we try to win a contract, we're required to submit resumes and oftentimes with letters of commitment. So if we're not the incumbent contractor, we are going to go out there and do exactly what you're saying. We're going to go find people that would be willing to take this job if we want it, that would be willing to sign a contingent offer letter. If we're not the incumbent and we don't win, or even if we do win, the government's probably going to keep a lot of those incumbents, or at least try to keep a lot of those incumbents. But if I were you and I was either not employed or not excitedly employed and had the time, I would still apply for those and talk to that company. Because to your point, there's going to be turnover on that contract. Maybe not day one, but day 5, day 20, day 120. If they've got your resume and you interviewed well and you worked with them, either you'll find a job on that program, or they'll have another opportunity for you. So look, here's the thing, like talk to anybody that's willing to talk to you. Apply to any job that you think you're a fit for. Man, the nature of the environment is so different. I hear people, applying for 500 jobs before they get the job they wanted. I mean, it's just a different environment today. And the thing with in the IT sector, even in cyber, but it just straight up IT and defense contracting, once you're in, you almost never have to look for a job again, right? You're going to be getting calls all the time. We In 20 years, we've probably literally laid off 10 people. Everybody else that's left us has gone to another contract, to another contractor. So once you're in the environment, in the ecosystem, you can stay as long as you want. But until you get there, man, if somebody's got an opportunity, apply for it, talk to them, see what else they have.
Kate, go ahead. You got a question?
Yes, thank you. Hi Shane.
Hi,
Thanks for
Kate.
us.
You
Um,
bet.
so I've been within like the IT cyber realm for about 10 years, and I have the
Okay.
certifications. I have multiple different levels. My highest CISSP, I
Uh-huh.
have PMP. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to utilize to stand out amongst other applicants. In
Okay.
your opinion, when you have the certs,
Yep.
the experience, not necessarily the education yet, but all of the other important components, what do you think stands out the most when you're applying for positions or you're looking for positions in the market that we're in today? Like you said,
Yeah.
it's highly competitive. So I'm just trying to figure out how to who stand out.
I think a couple things, Kate. I think that it's important that you at least tweak your resume a little bit for every opportunity you're applying for. Like if the company that's hiring is a small, their website says we're a small agile defense contractor, and your intro on your resume says I want to work for a massive company, or your desires don't align with the company and the opportunity, that will throw you out. So I would tell you to make sure and spend 20, 30, maybe an hour on your resume every time you apply somewhere. Make sure that your bullet points on your first job that you have, without being dishonest, but within your experience, make them line up with what they're looking for. Make sure when you look at the job description, you look at your resume, it's very clear from looking at your resume that your top 5 bullet points match exactly what they're looking for. Again, don't be dishonest, but oftentimes resumes are 7 pages long, and it's hard to find the 5 key points that match up to that job description that they're applying for. So they're getting 1,000 resumes, right? How is yours going to stand out? What are you going to do to make sure that you're going to probably, honestly, they're going to look at it for 15 to 30 seconds the first time. And if they see something, I mean, I've gotten resumes that said I want to work for a manufacturing company because they didn't change their header from 5 times ago, and I'm not a manufacturing company. So what I'm going to do with that? I'm going to throw it away because they don't have attention to detail. Make sure nothing's spelled wrong, please. Put it through whatever you got to put it through, but I don't spell perfectly, but I sure put it through something before I do it, right? So make sure that words aren't spelled wrong. Make sure that your bullet points match what they're looking for, and then take the time. If you can figure out who the hiring manager is, if you can figure out who the recruiter is, use LinkedIn, hit them up, try to connect with them, introduce yourself, like go out of your way to do something different than what everybody else is doing, which is they're just throwing their resume against the wall and seeing if it sticks out of the thousand. So there are things that you definitely can do. I just mentored a young person to help them find a new job, and like use, if you know somebody that works at that company from when you were in the military, if you see that they went to the same school you went to, if there's anything you can do to create a connection or to leverage a relationship, you got to do that. I mean, it's a very tight competitive world, and if they went to Ohio State and you went to Ohio State, or if they were in the Signal Corps and you were in the Signal Corps, whatever you can do to sort of create that connection. It starts with, if there's a cover letter involved, make sure that your cover letter tells them exactly why you're a fit for that role, even if you have to rewrite a cover letter every time you apply. Because if you don't, you will be one of the 999 that don't make it to the top.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You bet. And if I didn't explain that well, if you got a follow-on question from that, don't hesitate to ask.
Is there for a contractor that you hire, or whether it's not you, for contracting jobs out there in general,
Yep. Yep.
is there a pay scale like GS, or is it negotiate? Does it depend on the size of the contract? And is it a set price or a set pay, or do they negotiate that within the hiring process?
There is a small range, Brian. Our bill rates are literally established per contract, right? There's only so much of a window that anybody can bid to win that bid, right? So they get a bill rate that they're awarded by the government for that contract. And then within that, there's a small negotiating window. And in most states, we now have to, by law, put the pay range on the job description. So most people are going to see a pay range on that job description. And it's going to, if it says requires 5 to 10 years of experience, if you have 5, you're going to be near the bottom of that range. If you have 10, you're going to be near the top of that range. Because if it's a 5-year contract, generally, quite honestly, bill rates, the government only allows a 2 to 3% escalation annually. So people want a 10% pay raise every year, but you're not going to, if you start at the top of the pay scale, you're not going to get more than a 2 or 3% raise unless you can get promoted. So, I mean, I think that's part of opening the cookie jar that I'm doing right now as well, is to let you guys know that if you start at the top of the pay range and you don't get a promotion, you're looking at a 2, maybe 3% raise annually, unless either you get a promotion, you gain more certifications, or you change companies.
How does a government shutdown like now, how does that affect your business?
Not at all. I think that the other part that's really critical is if you are in a, I like to say we're like the plumbing company of defense contracts, right? We're doing really critical work. We're doing, IT services for Army Enterprise Service Desk. So if our guys aren't working, the guys over in the stands can't get their computer working. So none of our work has shut down during this shutdown because we're all doing mission critical work. And the other part of it is contractor funding is not the same as GS funding, Brian. So at FLETC, a lot of the government guys aren't getting paid right now that are working, but our guys are still getting paid because our funding pool is different than the GS funding pool. So I'm sure there are some contracts that have quit working. If you're, counting flora and fauna in a bird farm, you might not be working right now. But if you're doing mission critical IT work, you're at work still.
Do you have to pick up the slack of some
We
guys
become way more valuable, right? Exactly. Yeah. We become way more valuable. It's all on our guys, but they see that and they respect that. And here's what happens a lot too, Brian, is our guys I say guys generally, right? Men and women that work for us, if they do a really good job, they end up getting hired by the government. We've probably, I can't tell you how many people we've hired as government contractors that are GS employees. They get offered it all the time. It's whether you want it or not. It's oftentimes a pay cut, but it's a much more well, except in this environment, it's a lot more stable, right? It's
Yeah.
not stable today, but it'll be stable again in a month, I hope.
My last command, we were hired. We got the authorization to hire. I think it was like 5 or 6 government service employees, and I think 4 of them at least came right out of. They were contractors working in the building. And we did the whole interview process and everything, but it was like you got this guy, and then you got the guy who's already been working here doing the job. It's kind of,
Yeah.
kind of a pretty good pick.
Well, and I think to Kate's question, I think that's part of it too, right? Is that you might see a opportunity on a GSA opportunity, but if they've got a contractor that's been doing the work for 2 years, it doesn't matter how many people apply. That's probably the person that gets the job.
Yeah. Anybody else got any more questions? Any volunteers for an elevator speech? I mean, we're 30+ minutes after lunch. There's got to be somebody out there.
Nobody's coffee's kicking in yet.
Somebody had to wake up a little bit.
It's all right. I understand.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yep.
Once, twice, nothing, nobody. Are you currently hiring now, or are you like on hold kind of?
No, we always have opportunities available. If somebody would go to our website, we have a careers page. Abacus Solutions, abacussg.com is our website. Sorry. So we always have opportunities available. We have a recruiting team of 4. And so I would say that, if you've got the type of experience we're looking for, even submitting your resume, if you don't see an opportunity today, might present an opportunity tomorrow. I mean, it's an ever-changing thing, right? I mean, if somebody resigns, it's a mission critical role. We've got to get it filled. So if we've got somebody in our pipeline, we want to go to them first rather than just start to recruit from ground zero when an opportunity opens up. And look, Brian, if folks have questions after this, they can certainly hit me up on LinkedIn. I can share my cell or email. They're welcome to reach out to me. I mean, it can be a scary place to be on the other side. So anything I can do to help, I'm here for it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm sure hopefully somebody will have some questions or reach out and, maybe apply or maybe, whatever. But
Yeah.
what does your ideal candidate look like?
I mean, that varies for every program that we have, right? So on our Army Enterprise Service Desk, it's very entry level IT work. So we oftentimes will hire a person that maybe they're transitioning from the military, maybe they were in supply or logistics and want to get into IT. So they've got a clearance, they've got a little bit of understanding of computers, and they go out and get an A+ certification. On our cybersecurity contract, it requires a top secret clearance, TSSCI, with a lot of system or network administration experience. So a lot of times those guys are guys that are doing the exact work coming out of the military that want to go to Albuquerque or Colorado Springs. And so we'll hire people that are transitioning from overseas or from anywhere. And if they're willing to do that type of work, they go to work for Space Force, they get a Space Force email address, and they go in a skiff in Colorado or Albuquerque. So it really it varies from program to program. Our FLETC opportunity, it's a great opportunity because it doesn't require an active secret clearance, but you got to live in Glencoe, Georgia. And so, I mean, it's a beautiful on the beach, an hour from Jacksonville, Florida. But again, so we're relocating people all the time to that neck of the woods because that's every level of IT work from tier 1 help desk to senior level engineering, both in the network and system side. There's some cyber involved in it. There's some of those defense type opportunities, but it really, for us and for almost all defense contractors, it's going to be opportunity and geographically specific as far as what exactly each position looks for. Uh, look, here's a great attitude, a willingness to learn, a willingness to grow. Those are the key things that, I mean, we had a person that went to work for us 5 years ago. Um, his name's Bronco. He works in Colorado Springs. He was just getting out of the military. He was a staff sergeant with a secret clearance. He took an entry level help desk position at Space Force, making $57,000 a year. He's been promoted 5 times, and today, 5 years in at Space Force, he's making $135,000 a year. So he went from 55 grand to 135 grand in 5 years because he had a great attitude. He learned. He was willing to take a step back when he first got out. That's another challenge, Brian, is guys get out of the military and they think that they can pick up where they left off or even get ahead. And it just, I mean, I hate to say this and you're smiling because you know it, but it sucks, but you oftentimes have to start over. You're back at ground zero, but
Yeah.
if you kick butt, you won't be at ground zero long. But if you're not willing to take anything to get started, you might be sitting at home for a while.
Yeah, no, that's important. Like I got humbled myself a little bit when my retirement date's coming up in, I don't know, 2 weeks now, but
Yeah.
I was applying for CEO type, as an '05 CEO
Yeah.
type directors and stuff like that in the security field. And it's just like, and this guy's been doing this for I'm in St. Louis. This
Yeah.
guy's been like the head of, St. Louis Cardinals security for 30 something years. Like, well, I'm nothing to him. Like, it's just kind of, I had to
Yeah.
humble myself there. So that's a very good point. It's very,
We,
very
we do work at Scott Air Force Base, so I'm in that area every
Oh,
once in a
yeah.
while. So
Yeah,
yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, about 40
yeah.
minutes from me or so,
Yep. Yep.
give or take.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, last call for questions, and then we're going to let Shane go about his day. Going once, elevator speech, nothing. Twice. All right,
Look,
there we go.
Brian, thank you very much.
Yeah, no, Shane, I appreciate you.
Yep. Yep. Thank you. And if everybody has any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Brian will share my information.
And then I'll be in touch with you about the Shark Tank thing
Okay.
we're doing.
Awesome. Would love
Maybe
to.
interested in that. Yeah.
Yeah. Would love to. Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. All right,
Appreciate
Shane,
it.
have a great day.
Yep. You too. Bye.
All right, thanks, brother. All right, hey, what time is it? 42. Why don't you guys go ahead and take 10, and then come back, and we'll get ready for the next speaker. Appreciate you guys.
Hey guys, hey Bri, how'd that go?
No, it went good.
Good, awesome.
Yeah, he's interested in the I don't know why I keep forgetting it, but he's interested in the Shark Tank. So I'm gonna give him some more information.
Ah, nice,
Yeah.
awesome.
So yeah, I gave everyone 10, so they should be back here in about 6 minutes or so.
Perfect.
And Yeah, that's his second time talking. He's got IT, cyber stuff, government contracts, like always
Okay.
looking for people. So yeah, I'll do a recap call with him and then see what gauge his interest,
Terrific.
their
Thanks,
interest.
buddy. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
Anyone who's still here have any questions I can answer or Brian can answer while we're waiting? Anything you need help with?
Just real quick, when I tried